What is your American dream?
So my American dream is to have a family and to just live a successful life, a life, in abundance, and to give back as well to the community and society that I live in.
My American dream at the moment is just to raise a family and be happy.
My American dream is pretty simple: peace and justice for all.
I'm from Russia. I don't live in America, but my American dream is peace around the world, peace between countries.
My American dream is that everyone has freedom of a lot of different things. Freedom of speech, freedom to get whatever they're trying to accomplish in life, their dreams, their goals. Every dream that Americans have is something that's tangible and something that can be accomplished.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. My handkerchief is a little out of my pocket. There we are. Boy, did I have a day today. I'm like deep sweat. Jill is going in my ear. 3, 2, 1. I'm thinking about my whole day. And I said, you know what? If it wasn't for you, squad, and you, Yo-Yo, and you, Ness-quick, and the whole crew back there, I'd say to hell with everybody. I'm going to get some tequila. But I can't. So, I love everybody. So we're here. I'm only kidding around. What's going on?
Nothing much.
What do you mean nothing much?
Another Monday.
What do you mean nothing much? Nothing much going on in Yo-Yo's life? Yeah, I don't buy it.
I got a facial today.
You look. By the way, you look glowing.
Ravishing?
Glowing.
Yeah, you're glowing.
Glowing. Yes, and so do you.
Glowing.
So do you, Ness-quick.
So
do
you.
What?
No makeup on
Fresh face.
I don't know, but it looks like you had a facial as well.
I wanted to give you guys a Monday day, like a Monday fresh look.
So let me ask you a question, Ness-quick. How was your weekend?
I had a good weekend. What did I do this weekend? A lot of meetings, a lot of work. I still work over the weekend. Luckily, the kind of work I do is pretty fun. But it was hot again, y'all. It was so hot. And I went to the pool. We have a pool in my building.
Oh, very fancy, Ness-quick.
Oh, fancy.
Nobody invites me to the pool. I have no pool in my building.
I'm not allowed to have guests.
I was sweating in my boxers all weekend long with a fan.
Brad, if we invited you, you wouldn't have came anyways.
Why not? How do you know? You never know until you never know. You never know until the invite comes, and then all of a sudden I show up and everybody goes, "Who invited him?" But Yo-Yo, I don't know. Maybe Ness-quick. Maybe you believe Yo-Yo, but I don't know. I don't believe nothing going on. That's just. I've known now, Yo-Yo. How long have I known you now? Almost 2 years, maybe 1.5 years, 2 years? More than 2 years, right?
More. Yeah.
Okay, in all the years that I have known you, more than 2 years now, in all the years that I have known you, never, ever have I ever called him on the phone, texted him, seen him before the show, seen him on the show, where I said, hey, what's going on? He always has something to tell me. Never in the 2 years that I have known this man that I've ever heard him say
Brad that way on a Monday.
Nothing much going on.
Maybe,
and I'm like,
I'm growing. I'm growing up.
You're growing up. You are growing
I'm enjoying apartment A.
All right, so let's say hello. Let's say hello to the squad. Elizabeth Francis, how are you? Dixie Peach, squad up. Marlene Watt Russell, squad up. Opie Ewan, squad up family. Jessica Leamy, Ma Dukes, Lisa Bling Rose, Petrona Suarez, Cordella Douglasing, squad up. And Sydney Bursick, also known as Pizza, Danish Danny. And it's actually Danish Danny, not Danish Danny. It's Danish Danny. because we found out Danish Danny likes Danish. On YouTube. How did I just say that? YouTube. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. On YouTube, Myra Maldonado popping in with a question right away. By the way, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, our lines are locked and loaded already. We have had people waiting before the show started. So let's get into this. Alex Smith, Miles 7 saying hello, and Matthew Dotson with a one-parter, a two-parter, a three-parter of a question. Reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Rodney Dangerfield and Back to School, when the teacher says, I only have one question for you in 27 different parts. All right, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready for some schmoozing?
Absolutely. All right, everybody. First things first, everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of the social media platforms, I need you guys. Is my voice like off? Or is it okay?
Your voice?
Okay.
Your voice is not on.
It like,
it's not
is
off.
It synced?
It's not on. It's not off.
Like
I'd
just
say
right.
it's just right. I was going to say.
Oh, good. Okay.
What's going on between me and Ness-quick?
It's a I can feel you, Brad. I can feel you.
What is going on there? You taking the words out of my mouth, Ness-quick.
You guys have a connection.
Yeah, we do.
Guys, well, speaking of connection, we need to all connect together on the Facebook fan page. I need you guys to all join that right now. All you have to do is put Brad Show Live, okay? And you'll get a lot of different incentives. The main one is you guys can put in your comments and your questions whatever time of the day. We'll make sure the first 5 that put it on that page, that VIP page only, you will get the first 5 questions answered, no matter what. All right, now everybody on Facebook, I need you guys to share. We need to share this everywhere. Share it all over the world. If you have friends all over the world on your friends list, share it to their page, all right? And tell them to share it to all their friends and family. I just shared it to my mother, and she says she's sharing it to everybody in Ethiopia and Eritrea. So I said big ups to Mom for that. Now I need you guys to follow those footsteps and share it all over the world, all right? Very easy to share. All you have to do is click the little arrow, share it to anyone's page. You can share it to groups, but copy the link as well. That's a very easy way to do it. Copy the link and share it as a text message, all right? Now, remember, I said that put all your comments and your questions in the comment section right now, because if you did not do it on the VIP page, it's not guaranteed that we're going to ask those questions, all right? So make sure you put it in right now. Now, Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube?
Okay, friends, so on YouTube, first thing is first, every single time, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that you turn on the notification bell so that you know when Brad Show is live every Monday through Friday. You can also share via copying the link through a ton of different platforms. It's so important for us to share all the value and knowledge that Brad is bringing our way. And something else that you guys can do to make sure that we get the show out to as many people as we can is give us those thumbs up. Friends, it's such a simple request, but when we get those thumbs up, YouTube automatically lets everybody know that there's something interesting happening on this channel. So it's so important to communicate that with a broader audience. Share this with your family and friends, because you already know that Brad is going to provide you with so much knowledge and answer so many questions that so many people you know may have. We're also on Instagram, guys, so make sure that you follow us there at Brad Show Live, where you will get the best of our show, all of our snippets, as well as we have a ton of incentives always going on that way as well. And if you want to get a question out, you can always slide into the Brad Show Live direct message and ask your question there. Very similar to our VIP Facebook group. So you always want to make sure that you're reaching us in all of our platforms. Share it every way that you can. And that way we'll be able to provide you guys with the best that we can every time that we come on the show. So let's get into some world news and schmoozing with Brad.
All right, Vanessa and Yonathan. It's not just some world news. It's national news. It's immigration news. It's whatever we feel like talking about. It's called schmoozing. Right. By the way, last week when Donald Trump lost in federal court and foreign students are allowed to re-enter the United States or stay in the United States if They are on a student visa. Remember, Trump wanted to kick everybody out if they were going to go online. Well, the federal court said, no, you're allowed to stay in America on your student visa, take online classes. You're also allowed to re-enter on a visa if you already have your student visa to take online classes or in-person classes. But what Trump has now done with students is if you are a new student, the first time you are going to enter the United States of America to take your first class, well, now he just passed a rule that says you can't do it. Now, several universities, including Harvard and MIT, they're pretty mad. The guidance was issued Friday. It makes it clear that new international students looking to study in America will need to enroll in an institution at least offering one in-person class, even if their peers only are taking online classes. Now, it's kind of odd, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, because, you know, Trump wants to reopen the economy and he wants people to come in and spend their money, and he wants American businesses to make money, yet he's barring perhaps up to 1 million students from entering the United States of America. Last year, according to the U.S. Department of Commerce, international students contributed $45 billion to the U.S. economy. $45 billion. It is a huge, huge industry that Trump is now trying to destroy. Any reason?
I don't understand.
mean, where do you even start with Trump?
Any reason? Because the man is just a no good, dirty, rotten guy who doesn't. I'm trying to keep it clean, Yo-Yo. I'm trying to keep it clean.
You're doing great.
But he is a dirty, rotten, dirty guy. I'm serious, because he doesn't care about coronavirus. He cares about getting elected, and he cares. It's money in his pocket. Doesn't matter about anybody else's pocket. As long as he's lining his pocket, he doesn't care. His Trump University, he went bankrupt for his Trump college, so he's not doing any more Trump colleges. But he doesn't want people who do not come from white Europe to enter America. And that is really what it comes down to. He doesn't want foreigners. As a matter of fact, he's at war with Europe too. I don't think he wants anybody these days. But certainly he doesn't want immigrants coming to America. He's made it clear, and he feels that is a winning platform for him. Yet almost 70% of Americans say they want some path to fix our immigration system and make people here legal who are illegal. So I don't know if it's a winning system, a winning platform, unless he feels that, you know, a majority of his base of voters are going to come vote for him because, you know, he doesn't like people who are not white. I don't know. Do you think there's that many people out there?
I don't think there is that many people out there. I mean, he also didn't win the popular vote, so I don't think it's the majority that feels the same way he feels, you know?
Because his thing with getting reelected is basically, I'm law and order. I'm going to protect you from all of the people who are protesting. Everyone who's protesting is violent. Everybody who is violent is a minority. They want to overthrow America. Whoever they are, want to change your life and your lifestyle. And it's total scare tactic. And this is part of the whole entire thing of, I'm going to bar immigrants from coming to the United States of America because it's immigrants that are coming to kill you. All right?
Right.
I mean, how many, and the irony of the whole entire thing, how many Fox News reports have we watched for 3 years? Immigrant came and killed somebody, and they found 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 immigrants over 3 years that killed people. Yeah. Yet we're living every day with coronavirus. Trump does nothing about it. 140,000 people dead.
Which
That's
is another
okay.
way of killing people.
That's
Right.
okay.
If you really ask me, that's more of a terrorist than
Of
anything
course,
else.
but he's not doing it because, if he mentions coronavirus, it's not good for his reelection. Meanwhile,
He has to be consistent with his stories. If we're going to get on immigrants, we're going to be on immigrants on every aspect that we can get them.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Immigration Service, they are now pushing back their furlough program. Everyone was scared on August 3rd that 70% of the Immigration Service officers were going to be fired and cases were going to be put on hold. Well, now the furlough program has been pushed back to at least August 31st. The immigration agency previously said they were going to furlough up to 13,000 people. Now, they blame the pandemic for a decline in incoming revenue from the fee-based agency. But we all know, Yonathan and Vanessa, that is BS. It is a whole political thing. There's plenty of money to process immigration paperwork. Okay? There is plenty of money to do it. They just don't want to do it. Trump doesn't want to do it. He wants to look like he's tough on immigration, stop immigration everywhere, stop legal immigration. And the funny thing is Trump used to say, well, I'm all in favor of legal immigration. I'm just against illegal immigration. Well, you know what? Number one, back when he was saying that, they didn't really make a lot of good options for people to come here legally. Okay? Now he's cutting back on legal immigration. No students.
Yep.
Let's cut funding
Bans.
to USCIS. People who are doing it legally.
Yeah.
We need anybody but him.
Right.
I got the idea.
What's the idea?
Let's vote for Joe Biden. I got it.
Yes.
Because that is anybody but mind-blowing stuff here for Brad Show Live. We all vote for Joe Biden. I think most people would. Simply because, simply because I can't handle any more of this. He every day stresses everybody out. I don't know how. I was telling somebody over the weekend. I said, "How does anybody vote for him?" The stress and the craziness that he has done in America.
His own party.
All right. And I just was shown. I don't know if we have it. Maybe we'll show it another day. I was just shown a video with a Trump video for his re-election. With the protests and coronavirus and everything going on. It's like Trump's law and order thing. And he ends. He goes, "This is Biden's America. This is what what you're going to Biden."
Please.
And I'm like,
Oh,
that's
wow.
not Biden's America.
That looks like Trump's America
That's
now.
Trump's America. Okay,
Yeah.
Biden's America was with Obama between 2008 and 2016. I mean, Trump is showing video from Trump America and claiming it's Biden's America. It's not Biden's America.
And they have Trump stamp. Like, they have Trump stamp that clearly says, like, May 28th. Like, who was the president at the time? It's Trump.
Exactly. I mean, when Obama, we didn't have this craziness. Okay, we had environmental protection. We had at least the start of a minority, the first minority president of the United States, as a start, not the end, but a start of trying to make America more fair to everybody. Unfortunately, we got Trump back, but this is not. This here, when you see Obama and Biden in the Situation Room, I think that was the day they got Osama bin Laden. Here's Obama. Those were nice days. People were employed. People were employed. We weren't at war with anybody. I mean, Obama wasn't perfect. He made many mistakes. There's many things I didn't like what he did. Okay, nobody's saying he's perfect. But compared to where we are today,
please.
Anxiety was not
God.
this high. Anxiety was not this high every single day. And even though people could say all that they want to say about Barack Obama, but the country had some sort of peace. Like, there were moments. Peace. It wasn't like every day there's something new. Every day there's something new. He's tackling someone else. He's saying something on Twitter. He's attacking, this group or that group. And I just feel I was definitely younger during the Obama presidency, old enough to vote for Obama at the time. But I can just remember like my younger, like 20, I just didn't feel the way that I feel now. And like I'm older and I'm comprehending politics more and more each day, but it was not this overwhelm.
It's meant for everybody's mental well-being.
Yeah.
Okay, for everybody's mental well-being, we need a new leader. Just for mental health.
Yeah, mental health.
Okay, because every day we wake up to craziness. Meanwhile, who do you like? Because Biden said his rough date. What are we now? July 27th. He said August 1st. By August 1st, he will have picked his vice president. Coming up in another 2 or 3 days.
Right.
Who do you think? Is it going to be, the big four, the top four? Elizabeth Warren, you know who she is, right? Kamala Harris, Susan Rice. You know who Susan Rice was? Yep. She was in the Obama administration. She was the ambassador to the United Nations under President Obama. By the way, really well spoken. The only thing that she has going against her is she's never run for public office, but very well spoken woman.
Right.
And Tammy Duckworth, who is a senator from Illinois, and she used to be a Iraq veteran. She lost her legs in war in Iraq, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And then we have the second tier, and I'm not saying second tier because they're less qualified, but it's just less likely to be picked, but you never know. You got, the congressman from California, Karen Bass.
They said that she's pretty serious as well,
She's a serious woman. Yeah, they've been mentioning her a lot lately.
I actually like her.
I don't know enough about her, but they say she's the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. So if she's the chairperson of the Congressional Black Caucus, her peers voted her their leader.
Right. I mean, I did read some stuff about her, and she's been a prominent figure for police reform, and then legislation on public health, and then student debt. That's a big thing with me. So I was reading a lot about her, and she's pretty big and global with human rights as well. So to have somebody like her to represent, I would feel a lot better than some of the others that I saw.
What about Val Demings? She's a congresswoman from Orlando. Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor for Atlanta.
I think she's too new in the game.
Well, that's why this is more kind of the second tier people. Not to say she's not qualified. When I say second tier, I'm saying less likely, but you never know. You never know.
I mean, because look at our president today. He was not qualified at all.
What tier was he in?
Who?
Our current president. What tier did we have here?
His tier? Everybody thought it was a joke. Everybody thought it was a joke when he was running. Nobody took him seriously.
It literally was like a Kanye West.
Exactly. He's like, it's the birthday party, right?
Right. And he's just chilling in the White House right now, y'all.
If I had to take a guess, I say it's either Kamala Harris or Susan Rice. If I had to take a guess.
I think Kamala.
Kamala?
I put Susan in my top two, too. I have Susan in my top two. I think it's just comforting to know that they've worked together in the past. So there's already an understanding.
Correct.
And there's a relationship there. And they come from the Obama administration, which, again, we know had its flaws because it's still an administration run by humans, but there's more fluidity in their relationship. So moving forward into this new revolution, when hopefully Biden becomes our president, if that's the case, they've already worked together in the past. So.
Yeah. The one thing, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Yo-Yo. The one thing with Susan Rice, and then I'll let Yo-Yo you speak, is she's never run for public office before. So this will be the first time she's ever run for public office. That's the knock against her. And the knock against Kamala Harris is that when she was the Attorney General in California, the state Attorney General in California, she was a very, very lock 'em up state Attorney General. She would throw the book at a lot of people who were found guilty. So a lot of people feel that she was maybe a little harsh or unfair with some of, maybe not all, but certainly some of the cases that came across her desk. So that's the knock against her. What do you think, Yo-Yo, quickly?
I mean, there's pros and cons for everybody, and I think the fact that like she attacked Biden so like harshly during the primaries, I think that it's a good. It'll turn into a good relationship if they actually sit down and start talking about each other's policies. The pros and cons for both of them. That was a big con for me for Kamala as well. That because I know a lot of people that are thrown in jail for dumb stuff. So that was pretty big. But I think their relationship would kind of mesh. They're very strong-headed, and I think that if they come to a certain medium, then they can be really strong together.
Meanwhile, John Hopkins, there's now 16.3 million coronavirus cases worldwide. 9.4 million people have recovered. The U.S. has 25% of coronaviruses worldwide. 60%, according to Yelp, 60% of all restaurant closures in the United States are going to be permanent. 6 out of every 10 restaurants that closed because of coronavirus are not opening up again. That is a huge, huge, huge number. Meanwhile, vaccines by Moderna, that is being backed by the National Institute of Health. It's a U.S. company. They have started phase 3 of their vaccine trials. They're going to vaccinate 30,000 people, and they're going to give a shot this week to up to 30,000 people, or in the next week or two. And they are going to follow it up with a second shot 28 days later. The doctors and the patients do not know what is in those shots, meaning that 15,000 of those shots will have the experimental vaccine. The other 15,000 of those shots will be water and sugar. And what they're going to do is they're going to track all 30,000 people and see if the 15,000 that got the actual vaccine was less likely to get sick than the 15,000 people who got water and sugar. And then also, they are going to ask the people who got water and sugar how they feel, what their symptoms are. Do they have any side effects? Do they have a headache? Did their arm get red? Because water and sugar does nothing to you. And they're going to then ask the people who actually had the virus and then compare it. So they will know for short term, whether there's any side effects. They will know short term whether or not there is going to be, this is going to work. These vaccines are going to work. What we won't know for 30 or 40 years is what happens to us in 40 years from now. But we will find out.
True. See, that's the scary part.
Yes. And finally, there are some Caribbean countries. There are some Caribbean countries that are selling citizenship to Americans. Americans are looking to become dual citizens of other countries because they can't leave America. So you can become a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis for $150,000. If you buy property valued at $150,000 in St. Kitts, and you hold it, and you agree to hold it for 7 years, or Nevis, they're going to give you a passport that lets you travel visa-free to the European Union and the United Kingdom. So,
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Right. It is actually beautiful there.
And you get a passport.
That's an expensive passport, yo-yo.
And you get a passport that allows you to travel.
You're not paying for the actual passport. You're just paying for the property. To have property, $150,000, that's not bad.
It also helps their economy as long as the money goes to the people and not the bureaucrats. That's my always. Who knows what happens with the money, but if it goes to the people, then it certainly helps their economy too.
I think it would be a good investment.
That's all we can hope for. That's all we can hope for, that it goes to the people.
I hope so. Meanwhile, you know what it is today?
What is it?
It's Fuzzy Monday. It is. Fuzzy Monday. It is Fuzzy Monday. Yep. There it is. Lots of
I missed that
fuzzy
shot.
little
I
animals.
missed being in the studio.
Now, after just a few days of training, researchers have trained dogs now to sniff out coronavirus. It only takes dogs now a few days. Yes. It only takes dogs now a few days to sniff out coronavirus. The pilot study published Thursday in BMC Infectious Diseases by the University of Veterinary Medicine in Hanover reported that 8 dogs from Germany's armed forces trained just for 5 days. They could identify the virus in humans at a success rate of 94%, which is almost as good as the rapid test that you go and prick your finger. I think the rapid test is not as good as these dogs, as a matter of fact, I believe. Apparently dogs have a sense of smell that is 1,000 times better than humans. It's why dogs are always sniffing everywhere. My dogs were never able to sniff anything out. I think my dogs, there's something wrong with their noses. But most dogs, yes. Now, researchers said coronavirus sniffing dogs could be used in public areas such as airports, sporting events, and borders to help prevent further outbreaks. That's pretty smart. You know, I would love to have a coronavirus dog sniffing before I get on an airplane, wouldn't you?
I would too. Absolutely.
I think that's really smart. You know, sometimes you see them at the airport looking for bombs. Let's look for viruses too.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
airlines aren't always taking the precautions. Like you would think that it's like one other seat.
Right.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Right.
Uh-oh. I like that. The dog sniffing. I would feel so much more secure if there was a dog sniffing for coronavirus before I got on the plane. I would feel much more secure. All right. Now, meanwhile, who says people and their pets don't look alike? A man and his French bulldog named Blungy have gone viral on TikTok and Twitter because they're adorable twinning. The four-legged friend was sitting on the top of its owner and relishing the role. Let's watch. Do we have a video? They say this guy and him look alike. The dog and him look alike.
They don't look that much.
They don't look like
I
that
can
much
see
alike.
the dark circles in their eyes, I guess.
They don't look alike.
They don't look alike. Now, Blungy's owner, Evan, and Susan Ocean are people behind FrenchieStore.com, a company that makes health harnesses for dogs with special needs. Blungy, this particular dog, is deaf and has developed special skills to compensate for his disability. He holds things with his paws and eats them like a human, which is why, they always have the pictures. They always have the pictures of him eating the same thing as his. It's very sweet, isn't it?
It's sweet.
I don't have pets, but if I had one, I would want to look at him smiling. I would want a Frenchie.
Do you like bulldogs? You like bulldogs?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think they're so ugly that they're cute, right? I mean, they're so ugly and they're slobbery.
I mean, they're really
cute.
You know what? Pugs. I would never. I think pugs are ugly.
Yeah.
And it comes fairly close to French
bulldogs.
bulldogs.
Why would you say ugly?
There's no dogs. I haven't seen that many ugly dogs.
Not the most flattering.
Aww.
What about a hot dog? One of those long ones that look like a hot dog? You don't like those?
The Chihuahua things and those. No.
A Dotson, it's called, yeah. Meanwhile, there's people are crocheting tiny kitty couches for their favorite felines. There's a new crafting trend. People are crocheting tiny kitty couches for their favorite felines. It's called kitty couches. And these crochet patterns are available on the internet for anybody to try. There are multiple approaches and styles of seating so they can be tailored to fit a human. So if you'd like to make your own kitty couch, you can download an entire guide from Annie's Craft Store.
I don't do cats.
Me either. I don't do cats.
I used to hate cats when I was younger. I've learned to tolerate cats. I don't know if I would buy a cat or have a cat, but I've learned to tolerate them.
Said love cats.
But maybe Carol, the Top Cat Tigress 2 Anderson, would want to know about this information, which is why we do it. We tell this information for our squad.
Right.
Meanwhile, without human visitors to keep them occupied, the penguins at the Ness-quick Zoo in Cornwall, England, had been gifted bubbles as an adorable new form of entertainment. Staffers have been trying to find new ways to keep their feathered residents entertained when the zoo patrons are not coming in. So suddenly somebody donated the bubble machine. The penguin caretaker, Dan Trevelyan, said the bubbles help to keep the penguins' predatory reflexes sharp. So there they are with the bubbles. That's hilarious. They're like little kids.
This is the most human interaction.
Yeah,
for penguins.
they're like little kids with the bubble machine.
Right.
And then, you know, it's not just us humans that want to go to Ness-quick's pool. Also, big black bears as well. A woman in Virginia, Ness-quick, was delighted when a large black bear decided to take a nap in a kiddie pool she had next to her backyard.
Wow.
Regina Keller's home is right by the George Washington National Forest in Fort Valley, Virginia. So she used it to a variety of furry visitors. She's used to a variety of furry visitors, including deer, bears, foxes, and squirrels. But she's never seen a big bear just go take a dip in her kids' blow-up pool. Is that hilarious?
That was Yo-Yo's this weekend. That was
That
weekend.
Yeah, it's not.
I thought you were gonna say that was me before I got a haircut 3 weekends ago. And finally, they don't call sloths because they hate sleeping. Here is a 3-toed sloth falling asleep while getting its chin scratched in this adorable way. May we all be relaxed. So let's watch this.
Mood.
I'm not even sure what a sloth is, but that's very cute. So, but now it's time to wake up while I answer some immigration questions. Yo-Yo and Ness-quick, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do quickly while I get ready to answer your immigration questions.
Absolutely. All right, guys. First things first. Everybody on Facebook, I need you guys to start your watch parties. All right. All you have to do is click on share, say start a watch party or host a watch party, then start. All it does is it takes the video from our page to your page, and it sends a ding notification to your entire friends list that's online right now. It's very simple. Start, host a watch party, then start your watch party. I want you guys to go in the comment section and let us know when you guys have actually started your watch party. All right, I'm going to be reading through and I'm going to like every single one of them. All right, if I don't see them on there, then that means you're not listening to me. Then it hurts my feelings. All right. Now, everybody also put your, it does. Listen, that means I'm just talking for nothing. And now everybody also put your questions in the comment section because we will be doing the social media check-in right after this as well. Ness-quick, what are we going to do on YouTube? Real quick.
All I know is I don't want people upset. So we need to get this share going, you guys. Host your watch parties. You can also share via YouTube. Make sure that you are subscribed and you have the notification bell turned on so you know when we're live Monday through Friday. And go ahead and use that share arrow. Copy the link and send this to someone via text right now because you can. Let them know that Brad is about to answer questions live. And you never know when you forward that message if that person had that same question today. So make sure that you share that with friends. We're also on Instagram at Brad Show Live. So make sure you follow us there. I'm also waiting for these thumbs up on YouTube, friends. We have 114 people watching and only 40 thumbs up. Remember, that helps us get so much more engagement on YouTube, helps us expand our audience and really get all of these questions out and answered to so many more people. So without further ado, guys, let's get to answering your immigration questions with Brad.
All right, Cynthia, you're waiting a long time. Hopefully I can help you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thank you for
Good
waiting.
evening, Brad.
Good
That's
evening.
right. Okay. I have 2 questions. My sister is here with me, and she's eager to say hello to you, but let me finish your mine first. So my spouse received food stamps for 3 months from November 2019 to February 2020. And in the household, it included my kids, who are American citizens, and myself, because they requested to know everyone in the household, but I didn't get food stamps, obviously, because I wasn't qualified. Now he wants to petition for me I wanted to know if that is public charge, especially because the form.
It's a public charge if your spouse got it. If he got it for his children, it's not. So if your spouse did get it, it is a double negative against you guys. It doesn't mean that you can't get a green card. It just means you have a huge mountain to climb to overcome the fact that he got public benefits in the last 3 years.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yeah, I know. Yeah. You may want to, and we would need to talk about this off air. You may want to have a consultation with me so we can figure out whether it's worthwhile for your spouse to do it or not.
Okay.
All right.
So my sister wanted to also know, you want to talk? She's a green card holder, 10 years. She wants to petition for her kids. So she wanted to know if she should go ahead and petition for her kids, or her husband has to.
Well, how old are the children?
They're 14. One is 14, 11 and 9.
And the husband's a citizen?
The husband? No, we are separated. Are you separated? Yeah. Oh, she's separated.
Oh, she's
I didn't know that.
You didn't know your sister was separated from her husband? Okay, it's good
I
to know.
didn't know. She's just telling me now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, then if they're separated, then at that point your sister would have to file for them. If they're not separated, then the husband would be faster. But if she's had a green card for 10 years, she could also file for her citizenship now as well. I would file.
No, she's not had it for 10. She has not had it for 10 years. She just got 10 years.
Oh, she just got the 10-year card. All right. So let her file for the children right now. And at the 4-year, 9-month, and 3-day mark, she'll file for her citizenship too.
Okay. She's going to get green card. Are they going to get green card or just Social Security?
Where are they? They're in America?
They're here in America.
Okay. They overstayed on their time. They overstayed their time here in America? They're overstayed on their visa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if they overstayed on their visas, that you would have to wait to become a citizen. When did you get your conditional green card?
Last about a year, January 2019.
How'd you get your 10-year card? So you only got it for 1 year. You went straight to your 10-year card.
Yes,
I
just got the 10
years.
years.
Okay, all right. So you would have to file a visa petition, do a provisional waiver for them to go home and come back. I have another thought for you that would probably be easier. Where is the biological father of these children?
He's right here.
The biological father's with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At that point, then, you have an issue because you're separated from your husband. Your biological father's sitting next to you. Your sister didn't know you were even separated. So, I don't know why we're telling this all on public.
No, I'm actually working on it because he just started. He's doing drugs and all that. He goes out of the house.
So the answer is, if the parents are both in the picture with the children, you can't do a SIDGE. If the husband is no longer in the house because he's doing drugs, then at that point, unless there was abuse by the ex-husband on the kids, then they can do a VAWA themselves. If not, then you would have to file a visa petition for them. They would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back.
Okay, they have to go home and come back before I'll be able to file for them.
They don't even have to do a provisional waiver because they're under 18. Yeah, but file a visa petition for them now anyway, and then you'll figure it out. But they're not going to be eligible.
Okay, but my question,
right.
if with my green card, are they going to have the green card or they're just going to have just their social?
They're not going to get a social. They have to go get it. They can't adjust their status. So you're only filing an I-130 visa petition for them. And if they're under and if they're under 18, they would have to go home and come back, but they don't have a bar. But you need to file an I-130 visa petition for them. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's go to Aloha in Miami, Florida. Aloha.
Hi, Brad. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Good to hear you back.
Thank you.
So, Brad, I had a question for you. My I-130 for my husband got accepted, got approved, and now we are on hold on NVC because we have to submit certain documents, which is the affidavit of support. Now, I'm a bit concerned about it because I didn't work for the past 3 years. So I asked my sister and my brother-in-law to be the joint sponsor. Now, I'm just iffy and don't know how to submit, which type of forms I need to submit,
An I-864.
To the NBC.
An I-864. What does your husband do?
My husband is in Jordan.
What is his skills?
He's in real estate. So he's a real estate agent.
He's a real estate agent.
Here in Jordan.
All right. Does he have a university degree?
He has a diploma, but not a bachelor's.
Well, this is the issue. Okay, you're not working. You get an affidavit of support from a second person. It would be an I-864, so they would also do it. Your husband is going to have to show that he's going to be able to support himself here without going on any public assistance moving forward. So he's going to have to demonstrate his skills, his education, what he's going to be doing. Hopefully he has a job offer. Hopefully he has medical insurance for him. But yes, your brother-in-law and sister-in-law have to do an I-864. That is the form they have to do. If you're not sure how to move forward, we could always have a consultation.
Okay, but one question about my sister. So my sister has to file the I-864 as well, or the A form? Which form she has to fill it out? That's the question.
Okay. So there's an I-864 and there's an I-864A. The I-864 would be filled out by your brother-in-law, and your sister would fill out the I-864A.
Okay. Perfect. Got it. Now, Brad, do you have a second? Can I ask you another question?
Do I have a second? Sure. Got all the time you want?
Oh, yeah.
Where am I going?
Yes. So the second question is that I also petitioned for my mother and her case was approved, but since she's the citizen of Kyrgyz Republic, which is recently, I think it was February when they put a travel ban on Kyrgyzstan. So I'm just wondering, what is the status of the cases? Will she be approved or not?
Well, if there's a travel ban, they won't approve her. But we're going to have an election in 90 days, and hopefully someone other than Donald Trump wins by the name of Joe Biden, and there'll be no more bans. He said he was going to stop it.
Okay, perfect. So, until her interview, right? So because NBC did not say anything, we're still uploading the paperwork
still processing. But your biggest issue is this: you're sponsoring a lot of people. You're not working. You have no job. Okay, and your mother, probably an elderly lady. She's likely to, based on current rules, she's likely to be denied because she's being sponsored by a woman who doesn't work, who has presumably no income. And what is she going to do here? How is she going to support herself?
No, we do have the thing is why I'm not working. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a nurse, but for the past few years, because I'm going back and forth. I had a baby here as well, so I have a child. He's only a year and a half. So that's the reason where I was back and forth, And we do have funds and businesses back where she can invest, and I did explain that in the paperwork.
Then good luck.
So so you think things will be okay?
I don't have the slightest idea. I don't know what you mean by I have investments, and I explained it on the paperwork. How would I know what that means?
Okay, but I thought as long as you have a joint sponsor, it would not concern
that's not how it works anymore. How it works is it's a two-step process. That's what I'm saying. Okay, if you want, but if you want to listen to me, you can. It's a two-step process now. The first step is showing that you can support your relative 125% above the poverty level, and that's either by yourself, which you can't do, or through a joint sponsor. And then the second part is prospectively moving forward into the future. Is it likely that your spouse will not need any government benefits? So they look at it, they say, well, you're not working. Your spouse doesn't have a college education. What is his skill? Will he have a job when he comes here? Are we now going to have an entire family of unemployed people because you're unemployed? Does your spouse have a job? Will he have health insurance? Because if everybody's coming here without no job, they're not going to give him a green card because you're not working either. So what I'm saying to you is, you have to show your husband's healthy. He has a job offer. He's going to have health insurance. Your mother has a bigger problem because she's older. So she's less likely to have a job. She's more likely to be sick. So it's problematic when you're sponsoring somebody and you're not working. Right now with Trump, with Biden, different story. I'm just telling you, there's issues.
Okay.
It's not just fill out a form and we're good.
Okay.
All right, hold on 1 second. We got to go to the next caller. Let's go to Michelle in Queens. Michelle.
Hi, Uncle Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm always on here. I'm having a problem, Brian, and I asked if you could help me on this. I recently got married to a U.S. citizen, and I found out that he's wearing a tracking bracelet.
You recently got married to a U.S. citizen. You found out he's what?
I found out he's wearing a tracking bracelet.
He's wearing a tracking bracelet?
Yes.
And he's the American citizen?
Yes.
Why are they tracking him?
I don't know. When I ask the question, he doesn't want to answer.
Well, obviously, it's some sort of detention by some sort of agency. Is he out in probation? Was he in jail? Was he in jail? Does he have a criminal record?
I asked him the question if he was involved in any problem with the law, and he said no.
Well, you don't put a track. Well, then who's tracking him?
He doesn't want to say. He doesn't want to say.
Well, obviously, it's a problem with the law. Who else would be tracking him?
What you said, Uncle Brad?
I said, who else would be tracking him?
I
Okay,
don't know.
so it's impossible. Okay, nobody would agree to be tracked unless your choice is sit in jail or get out of jail.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually never heard of having a tracking bracelet. I've heard it for immigrants. I've never heard it for American citizens. Maybe he's not even an American citizen for all I know.
Yeah.
Do you know for a fact he's a U.S. citizen?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so then I don't know. I don't know.
He's the one that's the one that's
100%. He has a problem with the law.
He has a problem with what?
He has a problem with the law. Who else would be tracking him?
Exactly. And that is what I figure out, but he doesn't want to talk about it.
Then you need to go to a therapist or leave him. He's lying to you. He's not telling you the truth of who he is.
Yeah, so...
But the man's not telling you the truth of who he is. The core basic issues. What do you do for a living? Where do you come from? What's your background? Tell me a little bit of history. And to wear a tracking bracelet, and you're calling me and asking, I wonder what's up with him? Yeah, he's a criminal. He's at least been to jail. Whether he's a criminal or not, I don't know. And maybe he's a great guy. Maybe he was framed. I have no idea if he actually did anything wrong or he's a bad person. I'm just saying the man went to jail and he's out of jail. He's wearing a tracking bracelet.
Yes.
And for him to say to you, I've never been in jail, he's a liar, obviously.
Exactly. That is what I thought.
Right. So Michelle.
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
you don't know anything about this man. I'd be very concerned and worried.
Yes,
you married a man you don't know anything about.
Yes, and he lied.
So I don't. She hung up on me. Let's go to Mohammed in Ocean, New Jersey. Mohammed.
Hey, how you doing, Uncle
How
Brad?
are you?
Good. I have a quick question. I'm a permanent resident for almost a year now. My wife is a USCS citizen. We had a medical insurance through her job, but now she got pregnant and she's planning to quit. So we're going to lose the medical coverage. So she's applying for medical assistance, Medicaid. I'm not going to get it. I don't want it. I just wanted her to get it because we can't afford it. And she's pregnant, And so she's going to be here and eventually it's going to be the baby. So I wanted to know, is this going to affect me somehow or my joint sponsor? That my wife is applying
a pregnant lady applying for government assistance does not have any bearing on immigration or public charge, if that's your question. The baby can continue to get public assistance after the baby is born. Your wife would have to get off of it within 4 weeks.
Okay, so I have a green card, so I'm not gonna get anything. She's the one. She's gonna get it.
That's
Is
fine.
that gonna affect me?
No.
Even if she didn't get off after she gave birth.
Yeah, there's no
it's
effect on you.
gonna affect me?
Yeah, if you already have a green card, then it doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, when I apply for my citizen
Won't
or
have any
anything like
effect.
that, it's
Won't
not gonna
have-
affect.
No effect.
And Obamacare, if I want to get Obamacare on my own and buy it, this
Go get it.
consider public charge?
No, but
Doesn't
you have
consider
no,
like
you
a
have no,
public.
but you have no public charge issues. You already have a green card.
Yeah,
You have no public charge issues.
Yeah, but when I did my green card, I had a joint sponsor, so I don't want this to affect them either. You know?
Well, I've never seen anybody go after a joint sponsor in my life. So if they did, you would be the first.
Okay.
But you're
All right.
fine.
I just wanted
You're
to
fine.
make sure before
You're
I do
fine.
anything.
You're fine.
All right. Thanks a lot,
right, you're
Mr.
welcome.
Brad. Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. All right, let's go to Natasha in Reading, Pennsylvania. Natasha.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Uncle Brad. Can
Hi,
you
how
hear
are
me?
Yep.
Good. We spoke one time before. I had just got in and started watching the show, and I was able to talk to you right away. I spoke to you about my husband getting his interview, and because of the recent changes in the system, we wasn't sure what was going to happen, and you assured me that it's going to happen in 2 seconds, and he's going to get the 10-year visa. After I spoke with you, I got an email stating that the interview was scheduled for August 12th, and I just wanted to tell you that you were right. You know what you're talking about.
I do. Thank you.
And unfortunately, my husband has a sister wife, so
Has a what?
my question. He has a sister wife. He has a whole nother person.
What is a sister wife?
So he has a whole nother person. I'm a sister wife. He has a whole nother person that he's living with. That's in my house. That's
You're a what is it called? You're a
I'm a sister wife.
Yeah,
sister wife.
What is exactly a sister wife?
Right. What can I do now?
He's married to two different women?
No. He's married to me, but he
has another woman.
Else.
He has another woman. He's married to you.
Yes.
And he has another woman living in the house with you. Are you agreeing to this, or you're not agreeing to this?
No. I'm not agreeing to this because I was unaware of it, and when I became aware of it, I went back to the country to file divorce papers, and we were assured, we went to counseling and everything was done, and then Corona hit. I came back up here, and he continued on with what he was doing, and we had our medical today, actually at 10 o'clock, and on Friday he brought the young lady up to my house in Trinidad, in the country.
Are you where are you calling me from? You're calling me from Pennsylvania.
I'm calling you from Pennsylvania, yeah.
And you're the one getting the green card.
I'm getting the green card for him.
You're getting the green card for him?
Yes, I'm the sponsor.
You're the U.S. citizen?
Petitioner. Yes.
And if you're okay with it, then God bless you.
No.
I don't know.
I am not. I want to know. Nope, Uncle Brad. We are not about that life. I am not. I'm not okay with it.
Okay. So then
I want to know what
to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you say, you know what? I didn't sign up. I didn't sign up for you to cheat on me every day in my own house, which is basically what he's doing. I didn't sign up for that life. I'm not. You're the captain of the boat until he gets his green card. So you don't have to go to the interview. You can withdraw your application. You can.
How do I do that?
You write a letter to immigration, and you say, I would like to withdraw my application. I no longer want to continue. And then it will be withdrawn. Up until the day he gets a green card, you're the captain. Once he gets a green card, there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay, great. So I have, because the interview is on August 12th.
Right. And then and if you don't want him in your house, ask him to leave. And if he doesn't leave, start a divorce and get a judge to get him to leave. And
That's
this woman
what I want to do.
Why is this woman in your home?
Oh, he permits it. I was told that he still has feelings. He said he still has feelings for her, and he can't just switch it off. He's not a monster.
No. What he's doing in essence is he's saying to you, if you're not agreeing to this, and I don't want to be too cruel, but I'll be honest with you.
No.
Okay. What he's saying to you is, I'm using you to get a green card.
Yes.
But I love this woman, and I'm going to bring her in because I'm so confident you're going to do nothing.
Exactly. Correct.
So do something.
Yes.
Get him out.
That's why I called to find out what's the next status. Well,
okay.
it's a rental. So we're renting, so it's okay. He can keep that. That's not. I don't want anything, Uncle Brad. I just don't want to be responsible for him or her.
So then what you do is you move out, say best of luck, and withdraw the application.
Withdraw. Okay. So I just said, do I send that to the Trinidad Embassy or do I send that to the National Visa Center where the appointment?
Where is he now?
He is in Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh,
the appointment is for
to the you would send it to the National Visa Center and to the U.S. Embassy in Trinidad.
Okay. Do I send any corroborating information like the pictures and the text messages and all that stuff?
If that's what you want to do, yes, absolutely. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. That's up to you.
Okay. Well, that's great because I don't want to be responsible for that.
Okay. Yeah, I never heard of sister wife before. So unless you agree. Yeah. You know, basically he's just a cheater then. So get rid of him.
Yeah, he is, and I always listen to what you're saying because you try to say make it work and go to counseling, and you turn into a pro-marriage person, and I'm like okay, and I'm listening. But then if you and the young lady could call us, they send the money for the paperwork because
But this is different because this is not. This doesn't sound like a man who wants to work things out. This is a man who wants to shove it in your face.
Yes.
All right.
He wants to.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm so glad I was able to talk to you. Keep doing what you're doing. I shared online and I let everyone know.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right. You too.
All right. Let's go to Kim in Portland, Maine. Kim.
Yes.
How
Kim
are
is
you?
here.
Who is this? My name is Brad. Who is this?
Oh, this is Kim Brown.
Hi, Kim. How are you? You called me. I didn't call you. But you answered the phone like, hi, how are you? Who is this? I'm like,
hi, how are you? I'm a fan of your show.
Oh, thank you.
Asking a question. Can a U.S. citizen person file for their stepson who is an immigrant and the mother of that child is not? I've not yet done an interview, and his paperwork has gone through.
I'm confused. You're a U.S. citizen, and you filed for your son, and what happened?
All right. Can a U.S. citizen file for a stepson?
If a U.S. citizen can file for a stepson, if who are you talking about? You're asking vague questions. You have a child?
No, I'm asking for someone.
All right, you're asking for your friend. Okay, your friend has a child.
Yes.
Okay, how old is this child?
7.
7 years old. And your friend married to an American citizen?
Yes, but I'm asking...
The answer is the American citizen can file for the child.
Okay, but can she get approved before the son or the son gets approved before her?
Oh, okay. If you're basing it on a bona fide marriage, she would have to get her green card first, or at least the marriage would have to be more than 2 years before the son gets through, one or the other. Because they're not going to let the 7-year-old come up as a 2-year green card holder unless the mother gets through here in America. If it's more than 2 years after the marriage and she's still waiting on her green card here, they could potentially give the son a green card in another country.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. All right, let's go to Pauline in Aurora, Colorado. Pauline.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
My question is this. I filed for my fiancé, and then he was denied October last year.
Why?
He was denied because we waited for the embassy to let us know that they are ready for us to schedule for the interview. So the time they let us know about that is only 3 weeks to the time the case will expire. So when they let us know about that, we still have to do medical. We still have to
you did a fiance visa, and they give you this window that you have to get the visa and come here. And then it was because the embassy was slow that ultimately he didn't get through?
Yes, the time they let us know to start for the interview was very close.
Correct, because when you did a K-1 visa, right?
Yes.
Okay, so when you do a K-1 visa, on that approval notice for the K-1 visa, they only give you a very short window in which he has to come here with that visa. So they'll say, for example, the K-1 is approved from January 1st to June 1st. I'm making it up. Okay, so that means he has to get. That means he has to get the visa and be in America by June 1st, which means you literally on the K-1 you got to be on it. You can't be lackadaisical. And if the embassy is being slow or the National Visa Center is being slow, you got to be on the phone screaming at them, "Hey, I'm going to lose this visa. I want my fiance here." And apparently that didn't happen. No, write them an email. Write them an email doesn't do anything. You got to be on the phone. What the hell's going on? I'm going to lose my husband. I got to do this again. We're getting it. You can't write an email. Nobody's reading emails these days.
Well, I wrote them email and then I said the time you were giving me and you gave me the notice for this interview is very short. So we couldn't find a date before
You know what they're going to tell you? You know what they're going to tell you? They don't care. Refile again.
Yes, so they denied him the visa.
I know. They told you to refile again. You have to refile again, and you have to take when you deal with immigration, especially with K-1 visas, you can't just wait. If you sit back and wait, nobody's doing anything for you. You got to be on them. You got to be on them like, what's the saying? Rice on paper. I don't know, whatever that saying is. So this time, file again. And
no, we got married. I traveled back.
Okay,
and
so then
we got
file an
married
I-130. So file an I-130 visa petition now.
So my country is unbound. I'm from Nigeria. So I traveled back and then we got married on December.
You've done everything wrong. There's not one thing you've done right. Because you could have brought him here on a fiancé visa. Because the ban is for green cards, immigrant visas, not fiancé visas. So then why would you go marry him if there's a ban? That doesn't make any sense. You've done everything wrong. Everything backwards.
But the marriage certificate is just from Nigeria, and I'm still answering that I'm single here.
But you're married.
I have not stopped.
But you can't lie. You're married now.
I know now. I'm just telling you.
All right. Well, you just told the world too. By the way, Pauline, this is not a attorney privilege conversation you're having with me. You just told at least thousands and thousands of people who are watching at this very moment, or who will watch this later on, that even though you're married, Pauline from Aurora, Colorado may file a new fiancé visa and lie to the government. Why would you say that live? So now what you should do is tell the truth. You should file an I-130 visa petition. Maybe what you should do is what's called a K-3 visa after you file the I-130. Because a K-3 is still a non-immigrant visa. It's not an immigrant visa.
So right now...
Pauline, right now, I'll say two things. One, you screwed up everything. You've done everything wrong. The words coming out of my mouth are going in one ear and out the other. You're not even listening to me. You just want to talk and do what you want to do, which is go. Let me finish. You already went and married him back, so you screwed that up too. So I just gave you $1 million answer. I just gave you $1 million answer, and it went in here and out here. Because there is an immigrant ban. You cannot get a green card from Nigeria right now. No way, no how, no hell.
Okay,
and I just told you. You file an I-130, and then you file what's called a K-3 visa. The K-3 visa is still a non-immigrant visa. It's a visa to allow you to come to America to wait for your green card here. Gave you the middle answer, okay? But you kept what if I do? Hold on. And don't lie to the government. It's what got Nigeria the problem in the first place, because Trump says everybody from Nigeria is lying. So you're perpetuating the stereotype. Let's go to Shay in Hyattsville, Maryland.
Hello.
How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Brad. Great. How about yourself?
What's going on?
Yeah, I want to know when they're going to start fixing an appointment for people in Maryland, because my husband filed for me since August last year, I got my social and my work authorization, but I'm still yet to. It's still in December.
Yeah. Maryland is still having Maryland's still having a problem with corona. So in New York right now, they're just starting to schedule appointments again in August. But New York has really flattened the curve. I don't think Maryland's there yet. We have clients in Maryland. I have not seen appointments come through for them yet. So my assumption is that they're not. I don't know off the top of my head when they're going to do it.
Oh, okay.
All right, but as long as you have your work permit, be thankful you have your work permit.
But it's gonna expire January. When do I need to put in for another one?
4 months before. 4 months before.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Let's go to Carla in Boston, Massachusetts. Carla.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is I'm married to a U.S. citizen, and we just filed our I-751. So I got the first green card, and it's been 2 years, and I just filed the I-751.
Right.
And last night, my husband told me that he had a child outside of our marriage, and he wanted us to get a divorce.
Okay.
So I'm just worried as to how this is going to affect my green card.
Well, it's changing the way you're doing the I-751. It's changing your life, obviously. I'm sorry to hear that your husband cheated on you. But nobody has to stay in an unhappy marriage to keep a green card. And just because your husband cheated on you doesn't mean you weren't in a legitimate, real marriage with him. So if he's getting a divorce from you, say thank you. I appreciate it. And you're going to file the I-751 with a divorce and prove that it was a real marriage. You lived with him, you had a financial relationship with him, and the marriage ended because of divorce. And you can do it that way. You don't have to stay in an unhappy marriage. If you have the I-751 pending already, as soon as you start the divorce, you can convert it.
Okay.
All right, so we can help you. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, I thought you were done. I'm going to ask my second question.
What is it?
So I have a friend who's Liberian. She's lived here for years. And she filed an AOS adjustment, and I think she's had her green card for over a year. And her husband is threatening her, saying that he's not going to, file the I-751. So
does she have a green card? Does she have a green card? Excuse me. She has a green card?
She does.
Okay. So it's the same exact answer I gave you that I give her. No one has to stay in an unhappy marriage if you already have your green card. You can get a divorce and prove it's a real marriage and say goodbye, see ya, adios. All right.
Thank you. I think with her, right? She, how there's this Liberian thing to get a green card. So she was thinking if her husband is going to cancel that.
No, she doesn't.
She already has
No, she already has a 2-year green card. She doesn't have to do Liberian amnesty. Hold on. Let's go to Blessing in Dallas, Texas. I've spoken to Blessing before because I remember that name. Blessing.
Hello, Brad.
Yes, how are you?
Good evening to you.
I've spoken with you
Thank
before,
you so much for everything you've been doing, and you've been of great support to me. But today, I have a few questions for you, Brad, and I'm hoping I'll get some answers. I'm a green card holder. I have a 2-year green card, and I want to file for my kids that are living abroad, precisely Nigeria. And I'm not sure if the USCS is going to accept this application because of the ban right now.
Yeah, file now. The ban is on immigrant visa processing. It's not on filing an I-130. You gotta believe Biden's going to win. The ban will be over. File now.
Okay. All right. And also, I want to know, do I need to include a fee, or do I need to include the fee while I file immediately?
Yes.
And also include, and tax return?
No.
And
fill out a form, submit a birth certificate, prove you're a citizen. Hold on. Let's go to Ruth in Queens. Ruth.
Hi, Brad. Good evening. I'm good, thank you. I have a question, actually.
I filed for VAWA, and it's been 2 years and 4 months now. So I sent in an inquiry to know why it's taking so long. And last month, 19th of last month, they sent me a reply, and they said your inquiry about why your case is taking longer than processing time was assigned to an officer. And they sent another one saying your inquiry about why your case is taking longer than processing time. It said we sent a response to your inquiry about why your case is taking longer than processing time.
Okay, don't read from the letter. When did you go for an interview?
My case is not approved yet.
When did you go for your interview?
My interview? I've not went for an interview yet.
Okay, when did you file your papers?
I filed on 10th of April 2018.
And it's based on marriage?
Yes.
And you were with your husband
It's VAWA.
still?
It's VAWA.
It's VAWA.
It's
Okay,
VAWA,
so if
yeah.
it's VAWA is taking over 2 years, and because of Corona, even probably longer. So.
Yeah, mine is more than 2 years now.
Did you
It's,
file an
2
adjustment?
years.
Did you file an I-45 too?
No.
Okay, so what you need to get a work permit. That's what you need to do now. You have to make yourself better. And you make yourself better by filing an adjustment that you should have done 2 years ago with the VAWA, so you can get in line to get a work permit and an interview for a green card and a travel document. So what you need to do right now, most important, is file an I-485. Hold on one second. I'm going to help you. But that's what needs to... Yeah, absolutely. Nothing else to do. Okay? File an I-45.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's go to Perfecto in Bossier City, Louisiana.
Hello?
Hello, Perfecto.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Is that your given name, or that's your Facebook, YouTube name, Perfecto?
Oh, I know. That's my given name.
That's your
My
given
mom gave
name,
me because she loved
Perfecto.
me. Yeah, because from her, I'm perfect,
You're perfect.
from her. That's
Okay, very
yeah.
good. Where you from? Sound Filipino.
Originally from Philippines, sir.
Yeah, you sound Filipino. Okay. So, what can I do to help you today?
Yes, sir. I have a question because I married here, the American woman. We have a good relationship from the beginning. We have a legitimate marriage, bona fide, and then we live. Before we live in an apartment. After a year, I get my green card. We buy a house, a mortgage, and then after we buy a mortgage, and then we talk that.
What is your question? Why are you telling me your entire life story? Tell me your question.
Sir?
What is your question?
Okay. My question is, we file a petition.
That's
for.
not a question. You're now telling me a statement. What is your question? Phrase it in a question. This
question
is
is,
Jeopardy. I'm Alex Trebek. This is Jeopardy. What's the question?
Okay. My question is, direct question is, my wife wants to file a divorce by next month. So, what? Did you
get your green card?
Green card?
Did you get your 2-year green card?
No, I got 2 years green card, and then when I filed my 751 last year, they sent me an extension for 18 months.
All right. So if your wife wants to get a divorce, and you're not happy, and she's not happy, I seem to be answering this question a lot today. You don't have to stay in an unhappy marriage to keep your green card. So let her get a divorce. Submit your divorce to immigration. Say, I want to convert my case from a joint application to a waiver of the joint application. Prove you and your wife were together up until the time the divorce starts. You will get a green card. You do not have to stay married to her. All right. So in essence, you will be perfecto.
No. The thing is, my extension expired this coming October, and then she want to file a divorce by next month in August. So, what should I do? If after she finalizes the divorce, I'm going to file a waiver. Sir?
Perfecto.
Yes, sir.
You're killing me.
Say it again, sir. I want to understand properly.
You're killing me. I just told you the answer.
What's that?
As soon as she starts the divorce, you will submit the divorce to the Immigration Service, and you're going to tell the Immigration Service that you want to convert your joint application to a waiver of the joint application, and you don't have to stay in an unhappy marriage. You will be perfecto. If you're not sure the procedure and what to do, I will help you. Hold on one second.
Yes, I need your help, sir. I don't know what
like you
to
do.
do.
I know.
Procedure, whatever.
Hold on, perfecto. We're going to make you perfecto. All right. Let's go to Jackson in Orlando, Florida. Jackson.
Hey, Brad. How
are
you doing, man? I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. What's going on?
Brad, I got a question, please. The thing is, I'm married on 2018. I sent the I-130 petition to immigration, so they denied it. For proof. Unfortunately, I didn't send it back again before the Trump proclamation. Right now,
But that's okay. The proclamation only applies to people out of the country. You're in America, so.
Okay.
You can adjust again.
The only thing that I want to know, could you tell me, please, what kind of document did I have to send to immigration? But I'm on removal proceeding. What kind of document I have to send to immigration right now?
Okay. You're in removal proceedings now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a lawyer representing you in deportation court?
Sorry?
You have a lawyer who's representing you?
Yeah, so I got a lawyer represent me.
What is your lawyer telling you to do?
No, but I got a different lawyer. The lawyer that I got on my asylum case is different from the lawyer that I got on my marriage case.
Why do you have two different lawyers?
I just got the different lawyers because the lawyer that I had on my asylum case, he was like, I don't really like him for that case because he asked me to pay for $3,000 first, and I give him $1,000. It took like 1 month ago.
All right.
He didn't give me the paper.
How many times have you been to immigration court?
I got immigration court since 2018.
All right.
2015.
And you're married. You're married now to a U.S. citizen.
And then, so I'm married right now to a U.S.
So
citizen.
you have to
since 2018.
file. You have to file an I-130 with immigration, with a letter that says, and you have to put this in a letter with the I-130. I am requesting a bona fide marriage exemption because you're not allowed to file an I-130 if you're in deportation, but you could request an exemption as long as you can prove you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse. So you're going to file a I-130 with a cover letter that says, one sentence, I am requesting a bona fide marriage exemption. And then below the I-130 is going to be documents this thick proving you and your wife live together and have a financial relationship. That is what you're going to submit to immigration. You're going to have a big copy of it. And next time you go to court, you're going to bring that big copy to the judge. Say, Judge, I'm married in a bona fide marriage to my beautiful U.S. citizen wife. I have submitted an entire enormous package of material to prove it is a bona fide marriage. I have requested a bona fide marriage exemption. I do not want to go forward with this asylum case. I don't like my lawyer, who I paid X amount of dollars to. I want to move forward on this marriage case because I love this lady. And the judge will say, okay, come back when the I-130 is approved. And you wait for the I-130 to get approved.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So my second question, Brad, if it's like so, I'm gonna send like the I-130. Do I have to send the I-864 at the same time?
No. I said you're going to submit an I-130 with proof of the bona fides of your marriage. You're just doing an I-130 at the moment. Your I-864 has to do with the adjustment of status. You're going to do that before a judge after the I-130 is approved.
All right. All right. I appreciate it.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Ms. Brad.
You're very welcome.
All right, man. Have a good one,
You
sir.
too. All right. Maybe it's not one of my days today. Maybe not. All right. What are we doing? I'm going to be back to do social media check-in in 45 seconds. But first, in this Brad Education, I answer the question, why should I file for citizenship 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days after I get my green card? Let's watch. What the law says is that you can apply for your citizenship 90 days before the 5-year anniversary. 90 days is different than 3 months. Most people say apply 3 months before your 5-year anniversary. But since there's 31 days in many of the months, and we don't know which days are 31 and which days are 30, the safe bet is file 4 years, 9 months, and 3 days after you got your green card. And for sure, the math will make sure that you're filing within 90 days of your 5-year anniversary. All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in. Yo-Yo and Vanessa. Chop, chop, wake up. Chop, chop. Chop, chop, wake up.
To everybody.
You been awake?
Yeah, we listening to everybody.
I thought when I go and answer immigration questions, you guys take a nap for 45 minutes.
No. Actually, a lot of people were asking me, what the heck is a sister wife? I
didn't know what a sister wife. I didn't know. I thought at first she was saying it's my sister.
I was like,
married him.
Brad,
I thought it was two different sisters married the same man.
Side chick. It's a side chick.
Yes.
Show. What's the HBO show with the four wives? There's one. I'm gonna send it to you later.
What does they call it when people big love?
Polygamy.
But not polygamy.
Polyamorous.
But it's your
polyamorous.
What was that congresswoman?
Now, so.
What was that congresswoman from California? She was with another woman, but a man too. Was it a trumpet, a triumvirate?
You said a trouble?
A trouble, yes. They were a trouble.
Oh, a trouble.
I didn't know if they were a trouble or not, but this particular caller was not a trouble because she was not with the other woman.
Right, she wasn't with. Wasn't with the ish.
Right, it wasn't a trouble.
No, it wasn't.
Right.
All right, let's go.
By the way, I've been married. Okay. I love women. I love all women.
Yes.
Why would anybody want more than one wife? I can barely take the stress of one wife. One wife. You can just
There's some people that can handle it.
How can you handle the stress of more than one wife?
Because you know what? Usually when it's like that, the girls have an understanding.
Right.
I know somebody who has a throuple situation. He's a celebrity.
Right. So then because they got the throuple situation, basically everybody's kind of much more casual.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way. You can have two nagging wives.
Yeah, so, woo. All right, social media check-in. What do we got?
All right, our first one comes from Adrian Inc. 7 from IG saying, my EAD will expire in December of 2020. When should I file for a renewal?
4 months before.
Okay, Miles 7 from YouTube asks, who is eligible for DACA?
If you were here prior to June 15th, 2007, and you were here for 5 years, and you were at least under 16 at that time, and you graduated high school.
All right, Brian D. Sun on Facebook saying, who can rightfully sign and submit a DS-260 form?
Who can? The person getting the green card.
I have Mary Turfast on YouTube. My father won the DV lottery this past year. Once he gets his green card, can he sponsor me for citizenship?
He can sponsor you for a green card.
Okay, Anna K. Foster on IG saying, if I want to adopt my niece from Jamaica, what is the cutoff age?
You have to do an orphan petition. Don't go adopt your niece in Jamaica. You will never get her here, because if you go to do the adoption in Jamaica, not only do you have to prove that the adoption happened before 16, but you also have to prove that you lived in the same household with the child and you had legal guardianship for 2 years. So really you want to do an orphan petition. Hopefully you can, the mother and father out of the picture, or you can strip the mother and father of their parental rights and bring the child up here. That's the safer, easier, faster way to do it. And 16, by the way, is the answer.
Cool.
The next one comes from Opal Edwin on Facebook, and they ask, if I applied for the DS-260 from my home country, do I have to wait until I get the U.S. to apply for a social security number?
Yes.
All right, next one from YouTube, Ngozi Chiakuyaze. I don't know if I said that right. If I have my 10-year green card, am I qualified to file for my children?
Yes.
These are good speed round questions. Shoot.
Yeah. So this one comes from T Macy's and on YouTube, and they ask, is accepting unemployment benefits considered a public charge?
No.
Amen.
We're doing the speed round right now, but we might as well call this the slow round.
Hey, speed round better be on point.
Yeah.
All right, Amen 19 IG saying, how can I get my social security number?
Apply to the Social Security Bureau?
This is certainly a speed round.
Yeah.
All right, this next one comes from Mommy Yabi on Instagram, and they ask, can I apply for FAFSA with my work permit?
What? I don't know what FAFSA is.
That's financial aid.
Financial aid.
Financial aid for students? No, you have to get a green card.
For student.
You have to get a green card for that.
Okay. Next one is Versatile Lifestyles on YouTube saying, what's the best insurance I can buy as an immigrant?
Oh, I look like an insurance broker? I have no idea.
I mean, listen, you give people financial advice, you give them relationship advice, so why not?
I don't know what's the best. I don't even know what insurance is. There's car insurance, health insurance.
Divorce court in here sometimes.
The health insurance, malpractice insurance. You say the wrong words to somebody, insurance, renters. There's lots of different insurance. I don't know.
This next one comes from Rita Suwankambo on YouTube. Sorry if I messed that up. If I applied for asylum in February of 2019, when can I expect an interview?
They're going backwards. They're very, very slow right now. Hopefully soon. I don't have the exact answer, and because of coronavirus, it's even slowed down more.
All right, Elizabeth on IG saying, my husband's name is spelled differently on his birth certificate than it is on our marriage license. Will this be a problem at our immigration court date, and how can we fix this?
You could amend the marriage certificate, and hopefully it's amended by the time you get to the interview. If not, you can go in at least and say, we've applied to amend it. There was an error on the marriage certificate.
The next one comes from Millie Perez on Facebook. If I am a citizen and my two sons are 30 years old and both have daughters, can I file for my sons?
If they're 30 years old and have daughters, if you have a green card and they're single, you can. If they're married and you're a citizen, you can.
Yeah, she's a citizen. I think she's trying to file for her sons.
Yes, of course. Why wouldn't she be able to?
Maybe she just thought because they have kids.
They're older, and they have kids.
All right, Antonio Tandro on YouTube saying, if I have a pending I-360 and already have prima facie currently on Haitian TPS, can I still apply for DACA?
If you are on Haitian TPS, you can apply for DACA, yes.
With a pending I-360?
Yes. But if you have a pending I-360, why don't you just file an adjustment?
Right. That's.
The next one comes from Maria to Bangura on YouTube. Can someone with a B1, B2 get work authorization?
No.
Lala Legendary on IG saying, is it safe to travel with all the ongoing bans and holds on U.S. immigration?
Good question. If you do travel, you'll get a couple days notice on bans and holds and everything in advance. So it's not that all of a sudden you wake up at 2 o'clock and Trump signs something and says, okay, you have 45 minutes to get back to America. They'll give you a couple of days and make sure you get back if you got to watch the news every day.
Alrighty, next one comes from Alex Smith on YouTube. Can I be denied a green card if I did not file taxes on my own but filed joint with a U.S. citizen spouse after marriage?
If you did not file taxes on your own but filed after marriage, if you worked and you didn't file a tax return, perhaps. If you weren't working, then no. It depends on if you're working. You got to file a tax return.
Okay, Presley Elvis on YouTube saying, if I filed the I-360 and I-485 simultaneously in February 2020 and was approved for the EAD card, which I have yet to receive, what can I do?
Wait for the EAD card and then wait for your green card, which isn't coming until 2022.
The next one comes from Matthew Dodson on YouTube, and they asked, my husband's case was moved to ready to schedule for an interview about 8 weeks ago, and we still have yet to get an update. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, coronavirus.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Coronavirus is going on. They ain't scheduled it that fast.
Right. Myra Maldonado
Yes.
on YouTube. My husband filed the I-212, the I-212 waiver, and it was approved. If he lives in Mexico, what are the chances of getting a visa to come here to the U.S.?
I have no idea why he got deported, why he's inadmissible to the United States. I don't know enough about it to tell you. So the chances of getting a waiver approved are generally not good. If you have a good lawyer, maybe it's better. If you have a strong case, maybe better. Filling out a form, asking me, I filled out a form, will I get approved? Only the magic 8 ball knows the answer of, I filled out a form, will the form be approved? I don't know the answer.
Right.
How would I know?
That means hire you.
Correct.
That's a good suggestion.
Yes.
Next one comes from Yomex Favor on Instagram, and they ask, if my asylum case is in judiciary review, can I still adjust my status on my marriage? The review at the 9th Circuit isn't finalized yet.
You have to file an I-130 visa petition, get the I-130 approved, and then make a motion to reopen your deportation case. And hopefully all that's done before the 9th Circuit decides on your case, because you've been ordered deported already.
Matthew Dotson on YouTube saying, I work for an airline. I have until tomorrow to take the early out option. I'm trying to line up a new job. Can I take this package and avoid possible layoffs with no benefits? Yeah, dog.
You're asking me whether I don't know what. You're asking me whether or not you should take the package or it still work and hope not get laid off. I don't know. I was an insurance broker and now I'm a financial advisor.
I told you.
What do I look like, Merrill Lynch here?
You're doing great, Brad.
Okay.
You're doing great.
Doing great.
Yes, thank you.
Sunday is a nice Happy New Year on YouTube. If I went for my first interview in July of 2019 and there is still no decision on my case, what should I do?
2019 and no decision? What kind of
July
case is
2019.
it? What kind of case is it?
They just went to a first interview.
What is-
I can't tell you what case it is.
It's obviously coronavirus is the answer. Every
It's
time
so
someone
important
asks
for
a question
details.
that is so open-ended that there would be impossible, my answer is coronavirus. Next.
Details,
Yes.
friends. Brad can only answer your questions if he knows specific details.
Right. All right, guys. Here, Gladdy Kim on YouTube. If a husband and wife file their asylum different years and one is granted first, can the one granted petition file for the one not yet granted, or will they do his or her own interview?
You can withdraw the one that's not granted, and you can include your husband in your current asylum and then adjust your status to green cards 1 year later.
Okie doke. Aluwal Oki on YouTube. Bearing the COVID-19 disturbance, can you please illustrate the stages and timeline involved in getting a green card after submission of the I-130 and I-485?
Sometime between after the submission and 3 years later, depending on where you live and how you did the case.
All right, 29 Super C.
But generally before
you hated COVID.
Before COVID, it was about a year.
Damn. 29 Super C on YouTube saying, is there a lawsuit for recent presidential temporary immigration executive order that was put in place on June 22nd, 2020?
Which temporary order was that? The June 22nd one.
Yeah, the June
wants
22nd.
to tell you.
Yo no sé.
Wants to tell you, but he can't.
Okay.
Last
I know.
one from
I would.
I would say the June 22nd one. It would probably be the Brazil one. I think Brazil one.
Wow.
I think Brazil was June 20. There's so many. I don't remember what dates were each one. But if I had to take a guess, June 22nd was Brazil. My recollection is correct. And you have to be outside of Brazil for 14 days before you come to America. So somehow you got to make it to a third country outside of Brazil to get to America. If that's the question.
Okay, last one comes from Tia Passad on YouTube. If I did my biometrics on February 5th, 2020 and was approved for my combo card, but still have yet to receive it, what can I do?
Follow up, call the 1-800 number, say, hey, where was it sent? Make sure it got sent to the right address. Make sure it wasn't returned. That's where I would start. All right, so with that, guys, that's it for now. So with that, I recently spoke with Julie Schwietert Collazo, the co-founder and director of Immigrant Families Together. A story Julie heard on the radio in 2018 inspired her and her husband to create the nonprofit, which has raised millions of dollars to pay for the bonds and living needs of migrants who are navigating the United States asylum process. Let's watch. Immigrant Families Together is one of the most comprehensive foundations in existence assisting immigrants in need. The organization has raised almost $3 million in support for bonds, healthcare, and living essentials in order to ensure families can stay together and start a stable life in America without becoming a public charge. Founder and director Julie Schwietert Collazo started it all in 2018, and she joins me here today. Welcome, Julie, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You started Immigrant Families Together in 2018. Tell me how you began this whole journey.
In the summer of 2018, as I was listening, as many people were, to the news about what was happening on the border with respect to separations of families, I became increasingly desperate to do something actually useful. And one day I heard a local attorney on our local NPR affiliate talking about his client who was in immigration detention in Arizona. And he said, look, she has 3 kids. They're in foster care in New York. She's in Arizona. She could be reunited with them if she had a way to pay her bond and she had a way to get from Arizona to New York. And I thought, well, that sounds really concrete and achievable. I had no idea what the bond was, but I felt that it would be possible to raise bond money and find a way to bring that mom from Arizona to New York. And that's how this started, really. The following Monday, I cold called the attorney. I found him pretty easily on Google. He answered on the first ring. I explained that I had heard him on the radio, and I said, look, I think that among my friends, we could raise the money for her bond and find a way to get her to New York and back to her kids. And I said, would that be of interest to you and to her? And he just started laughing. And he said, of course it would be of interest,
Right.
because she has no way to pay this money.
Right.
And so I said, well, do we have your permission then to start a GoFundMe campaign? And he said, yes. And we started it on Monday, I believe it was June 25th, 2018. We found out the next day that her bond had been set at $7,500. By the time we found that out, we had already raised more than that. You can pay the bond anywhere in the United States. And so almost all of our bonds have been paid here at the office in New York. We didn't want to expose her to more law enforcement figures or people in authority who could frighten her, who may not speak Spanish, on her journey from Arizona to New York. And so what we did is we set up a cross-country network of volunteer drivers. People knew that we were fundraising for her, that we had been able to get her bond. And volunteers just appeared who were sort of first or second degree friends or acquaintances who said, look, I know somebody in Phoenix who could go pick her up, and I know somebody who can drive her from Phoenix to, Albuquerque, for example.
Right.
And we had an amazing volunteer, Megan Finn, who coordinated the transportation all the way across the country and just really quickly created this system of communication and monitoring to make sure that she was safe every step of the way, that she had homes to sleep in, people to feed her along the way. what Jenny remembers from that experience, it was sort of this healing moment in a way, or a journey toward healing, where, she had come here and she had been sort of met with all of these toxic aspects of America, right? And then all of a sudden, here are all of these people who are total strangers who are driving her for hours, welcoming her into their homes. She has said that it was important to help her understand that there were good people here who cared and wanted to help. And by the time she got to New York, this had attracted so much media attention that Cory Booker had come out to greet her and help her move her luggage for the last transfer in Newark. We had state and nationally elected officials who met her in New York to welcome her. It just really grew very, very quickly, and the donations continue to come in.
How's she doing right now?
She had her final hearing for the immigration court in North Carolina in September of 2019. She was denied asylum, so her case right now is in appeal.
Did you always work with immigrants, or is this new to you?
I'll just mention that my husband, who's the co-founder of Immigrant Families Together, is a refugee from Cuba who came here in 1980. So that's definitely always been a part of my adult life. Because I'm bilingual, I typically carried the Spanish-speaking caseload at the agencies where I worked.
What are you doing besides offering bond to immigrants?
Really early on, it was clear to us that we really had to provide comprehensive, continuous support as the family pursued their asylum claim. One of the reasons is because it takes so long for people to be able to get work authorization that how do you expect them to be able to take care of themselves and their family and not become a public charge while they're waiting for their asylum proceedings? So housing in many cases, if somebody didn't have family here who was going to be taking them in, legal counsel, medical, mental, and dental health, and transportation to and from essential appointments, and food, as well as then some logistical and getting kids enrolled in school. And so we assess each family's needs and then work with them to get those different categories of need met. Other barriers that I think are particularly relevant to these families is that it's difficult for them. They've just landed in a city where they don't know the transportation system, if there is one. In many cases, they're in places where they don't have access to public transportation. They don't know how to use it. They don't have money to access it. So they can't get to 3, 4, 5 different agencies to access different kinds of support. There's also the issue of childcare. If you need to go to 5 different appointments, you don't have somebody to watch your child.
Right,
so there were all these barriers to accessing all this support, even in cities like New York, where we have a really rich, varied social support system, right? But if you can't access it, then it means nothing to you.
How has the Remain in Mexico program affected the assistance you're providing? Because now people are no longer in detention in America to get a bond. They are on the opposite side of a bridge in another country, not allowed into America.
Yeah, it's definitely affected our work. I mean, we've paid and advocated on several cases of folks who have been in the Remain in Mexico program to let them know that we're available to assist in those cases. We have provided material and financial support to both our own volunteers who live and work in the borderlands, as well as a few other organizations like Team Brownsville that provide food, that provide educational support, hygiene support, for example. So we have sent books and toiletries. For 3 months, we paid the school lunches for everybody at the sidewalk school in Matamoros. So we're trying to sort of insert ourselves in other parts of the process much earlier so that we can also help partner organizations who are doing the on-the-ground work on the front lines.
So many people in detention, so many worthy people, and you can't bond everybody out. How do you choose?
So initially, because we were founded in response to the zero tolerance policy, our initial criterion was really just a single criterion, and that was whether somebody was a parent or a guardian who had been separated from a child. Since then, we've looked at and have provided support for 2 other primary categories of folks, which are LGBTQ and people with medical conditions that make them particularly susceptible to either permanent loss of some sort of functioning or potentially death by prolonged detention. And this has become particularly relevant, obviously, during coronavirus, because we've been providing a lot of logistical support to attorneys, for example, who are filing for humanitarian parole for folks who are at particular risk of becoming infected.
Poor person who comes and leaves with nothing from Guatemala or Honduras, they come here, If they have $10 in their pocket, they're lucky. What are the bonds that you first started seeing, and have they been increasing?
I wouldn't say they've been increasing, but I would say that they are not set with attention to somebody's ability to pay. I would say we have seen wild inconsistencies, and that we know that bonds are set based on whether somebody's determined to be a flight risk, these other variables, whether somebody's entered in before, whether they have a criminal history. But there really doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason when we look across the board at the 120 bonds that we've paid, and we look at their flight risk, which is just an absurd criterion in and of itself, right? Somebody comes here fleeing, they're not going to flee somewhere else. Our lowest ones have been 1,500, and the highest one we've paid is 40,000.
40,000, right? It's crazy, right?
Crazy.
For somebody basically in a similar situation. They came from a Central American country. They came and applied for asylum. They don't have a criminal record.
Right.
And they have what would presumably be a legitimate claim for asylum. So why would one be 1,500, one would be 40,000? Who knows? And bonds are to make sure you show up to court, as we were discussing. Has everybody showed up to court? Have you breached any bonds?
We've breached some bonds, yes.
Yeah.
We're actually in the process right now of reviewing all 120 to see where they are in their process. We've had maybe 3 breaches. The breaches that happen are not always sort of willful. They are really confused. It's an incredibly opaque, confusing system, even for somebody who is well educated and is a citizen here and speaks English.
You're telling me I've been doing this for 35 years. So you've also raised to another $2 million to transport people across the United States, to provide them assistance. Have you had difficulty to rally people to raise so much money?
A nonprofit often finds itself in the constant work of pursuing grants, right, and filing grant applications, and we certainly do that as well. But we've had a number of foundations come to us and say, we want to give you a no strings attached grant for you to use as you will. But I have to say that the majority of that money has come almost exclusively through small donors, right? And so it's really about the power of the collective. Some of my favorite stories are from a woman who sent $3 and said that it was the last money from her Social Security check and that she wished she could send more.
Wow.
And you see things like that, or you see kids selling their favorite books. It's incredibly moving and really shows that there are very, very many people who want to do something. They just want to be guided in terms of figuring out what it is that they can do that will be impactful.
Do families keep in touch with you after, they got a place to live and a job?
We do, yeah, we absolutely do. So we're in direct contact with most of the families, and from many of them, we hear from them even on a daily basis. We have 5 or 6 families here in New York where I live, and so we see them fairly regularly.
You've worked so closely with lots of people. What kind of trauma are they facing there?
There are certainly at least 2 categories of trauma, and one is the trauma that they experienced in their country of origin, which often will have to do with gangs or violence that's been perpetrated against them or by someone in their family. And then there's the trauma, I think, of the journey itself in many cases. We have some people, for example, who have walked through the Darien Gap to get here, which is just a terrifying journey. People who've ridden La Bestia, the train, to get here, who have seen, people fall off the train and lose limbs or even die. And, folks who've crossed deserts and been in trucks. And so I think the experience of getting here, certainly the family separation policy was extraordinarily traumatic for parents and guardians and the kids who were separated from them. More recently, for example, we've been working on a lot of cases of Cubans who've arrived here and, they've been detained for a year or longer. They just never expected they would even be detained. And so I think there's the trauma of thinking that you're going to this place that's really been sold to you as the land of the free and the home of the brave, and yet you're sitting for a year in an immigration prison and you haven't even committed any criminal wrongdoing.
Tell me some of the success stories.
So we have several people who've been granted asylum already.
Great.
A lot of the asylum cases, the final hearings are not even scheduled until 2022 or 2023. So some folks are waiting a really long time. But we've had a few folks be granted asylum already. I think one of the biggest success stories is the 6th mom for whom we paid bond actually just has a book that came out in English and Spanish, published by Harper, about her journey and about the experience of separation and what prompted her to come here. And in full transparency, I co-wrote the book with her, but it really humanizes the experience of the migrant journey, and it's really her hope that the book will help shift the national conversation about the reasons why people come here and what they want to contribute here as well. She's also a success story because she is the co-president of her son's PTA here.
She's really, I don't know, was it like a year or two, really done a lot, enormous, than people who are actually even born here.
Right.
You know, how many people born here wrote a book and is the president of the PTA?
Right. She has also begun to look at ways of how she can sort of leverage the resources that she has developed here to provide some greater stability in her home community so that people don't have to feel like leaving is their only option. And so I use her as an example a lot because it really points out to, you know, every family that we're working with, not a single one of them wants to be a drain on American resources. They want to contribute. They're amazing neighbors. These are the kind of people that you want to be your neighbor. You want them to be a part of your community. They have so much to contribute.
Now, how can people help Immigrant Families Together?
Well, donations obviously are always the best way to help. So I was very resistant to becoming a nonprofit, but when we got to the point that we were raising so much money that we needed better mechanisms for accountability and transparency, that was really the only option that we felt was available to us. And so I think what people don't know about nonprofits is that it takes a lot of money to run them. None of us are salaried. I don't have a salary. My husband doesn't have a salary. None of our other folks are salaried. But it takes a lot of money to get your financials audited every year. Right. It takes a lot of money to have the taxes for a nonprofit done. And so there's a lot of money that's tied up in administration. And the fact that we really do provide this ongoing comprehensive support to families. We are the guarantors on probably a dozen apartments for families. And so there's sort of this open-ended long-term commitment to house them until they're able to be self-supporting. And as I was mentioning, because the work authorization permits take so long and the Trump administration has just been so relentlessly terrible, the ability for somebody to really establish themselves and become self-supporting is a much longer process than was the case in the past.
Yes. Do you find that people are anxious to get their work permits and work?
Extremely anxious. That's one of the first questions that they ask us is how can they get their work permit? When somebody has a work permit, that doesn't mean that they have a job that pays them a living wage. And you ask, you know, how can folks help? It's really to look at some of the bigger picture structural issues related to immigration and immigration policy in this country and advocate for things like a living wage, which affect immigrants enormously. Key thing to remember too is that all of these issues are tied together, right? So protesting right now in response to police brutality and deaths of Black men and Black women specifically are very much adjacent to and related to immigrant communities. I think also really looking at what are your local elected officials doing to be a welcoming community? Do you live in a sanctuary city? Does your local government have supports in place for asylum seekers? I think, you know, I personally was not particularly involved in local politics until IFT. I was much more interested in national politics. And what I've really come to understand through my work with this organization is how much political change can be led on the local level. And so I would really encourage people to get involved with their local politics and also with things like local PTA and local school board. Working on curricular reform, for example, and educational reform are also really important issues. They're all related to the immigrant, movement. Our website is immigrantfamiliestogether.com, and we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well.
What's your American dream?
What I would really love to see is a move away from these sort of puritanical values of like each person for themselves and sort of, like we're all starting from a level playing field. We're not starting from a level playing field, and really understand that some of the things that we're seeing now, like mutual aid and mutual care, to really understand that we're responsible for each other, right? And to look at that and not wait for leaders to rescue us or to right things, right? The greatest lesson of IFT for me has been that a group of people who don't necessarily have any particular special skills, who don't individually have great wealth, but collectively can collaborate to make things better for people. That's my American dream, is that we each sort of understand our role, not that this is something to be realized and implemented by somebody else or a politician, but it's really something for each of us to work on daily in our own communities in our own way.
Well, it's a great organization, and what an amazing success, and helps so many families. You bonded out over 120 people. Congratulations to you, Julie Schwietert Collazo. Appreciate your time on our show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All righty then. I hope we're gonna do a good speed round today. All right, Julian, put 50 seconds on the clock. I'm gonna answer 9 immigration questions. I'm gonna channel Yo-Yo and Ness-quick somewhere in the clouds. We're gonna hear their voice.
We
Hopefully,
are here.
whoa, and we're going to hear their voice. They are very far away.
Here.
Because if they blow up the studio, they themselves don't want to get hurt. Only Uncle Brad will get himself hurt. All right. Are you ready? Are you set? Let's go.
Does USCIS consider a niece and
I didn't even hear the question. Say it again.
does USCIS consider a niece and relative?
I don't hear the question. Say it again.
Can you not hear me?
I barely hear you. Say it again.
Does
Now I
USCIS
hear
consider a niece? Okay, let's start all over.
Nope. Go. You're blowing me up already.
Does USCIS consider a niece an immediate relative?
No.
If an employer petitions for me, can I become a permanent resident in the U.S.?
Perhaps.
Can I get an interview before my priority date?
No.
Can I withdraw a petition?
Yes.
Is the USCIS furlough delayed?
Yes.
Is Trump cutting the number of green cards approval in half?
No.
If my visa gets denied, can I apply again?
Yes.
Can I seek asylum in the U.S.?
We would have got it. Why wouldn't you want to start over?
Because you can't blow out a candle. It's going. The bomb's going.
We would have got that.
But you can't blow out a candle and start from scratch because you don't like the way it started.
This is the Brad Show.
There's no, oh, I think we're gonna lose. Let's try again. This is real life here. You're blowing me up, man. We don't get second chances. We just gotta keep going. You gotta go roll with the punches.
All right.
What were the last two?
Can I seek asylum in the U.S. right now?
Yeah. And?
Can I become a citizen if previously deported?
No, you have to get a green card first and come back with waivers. All right. Oi.
Oi.
Oi, that's all I gotta say. All right, comments of the day.
All right, guys, our first comment of the day comes from Elizabeth Francis saying, "One love, one heart. Let's get our immigration questions in."
All right, next.
Next comment of the day comes from Petronella Suarez, and she says, Uncle Brad looks dapper today.
Oh, thank you very much. By the way, I don't know why all of a sudden, miraculously, now I can hear everybody. During speed round, Groundhog Sam has to play around with the buttons.
All right, our
But
next
you're
one
coming in
comes
loud and
from...
clear right now for comments of the day. Loud and clear.
Awesome. I guess comments of the day matter more than, huh? Sherry Bushy Foster saying, "Squat up, peeps. Missed you all these last few days. Hey, Uncle Brad, Yo-Yo, and the beautiful Ness-quick have been laying or having withdrawals from my show."
Aw, yeah.
I mean, we're back now. The next comment of the day comes from Charmaine Miller, extremely knowledgeable attorney. Very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and our last comment of the day comes from Lisa Bling Rowe. And she's talking about the callers today. "What do I want to drink? It must be hump day Monday." Whoa.
Yeah, there was some crazy calls today. All right, guys. It's already late, so we're just going to sign off. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get an earlier start. We had a very late start today, so my apologies. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll get an earlier start tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for staying late with us here at Brad Show Live. I appreciate it. Have a good night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.
What are you doing?